Lovetters from Lakyn podcast. Long time no see. Last week was not it, but I'm happy to be back. So, let me set the scene for you, okay? Last week, around Super Bowl time, okay? Super Bowl night, I had to leave my friend's house in like the last quarter of the Super Bowl. Not because I was upset. I really honestly did not give a shit about who won. Like, I love my girl Taylor Swift, but the Chiefs were playing so bad that was not a game worth watching. Anyways, picture me leaving the like last quarter of the Super Bowl, okay? And my friends are like, "Why are you leaving? Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "I literally just don't feel like myself right now. I don't know what was happening." Okay, that's a lie because the next day I started my period. So that was a great that was like that was the reason, you know? But it was just like I was not feeling like myself. I didn't feel like myself around my friends. I couldn't focus. I couldn't like hold a conversation. I was just not in my best mindset and I recognized that and I was like, "You know what? I just need to leave early because I'm not going to have fun if I stay." So, I go home, cried myself to sleep a little bit, which is okay. Like you guys know, I am one to always invite emotion and to feel it and embrace it. But I was just having a rough time. And then I also like got sick. I think did I get sick last week? I think I like yes, I did. I remember I had to take well, I called in and then we ended up having a snow day, which thank goodness because I feel like I needed just a day to get back on track. I mentioned to you guys a couple weeks ago that I have been nearing burnout, and I think last week I just finally hit it, and I felt so overwhelmed and so just not myself. I just didn't feel like I was in my normal headspace. And I never want to record and then hate it, and like, I never want to put something out that I'm not proud of. And so that is why I decided to take a break last week. But today we are going to be talking all about living as the best version of ourselves. And we're going to be talking about the ways that sorry, I'm literally applying chapstick. We're going to be talking about the ways that I feel most like myself and how I live my most authentic life. But before we get into that, we need to do some life updates and we need to do our weekly report. So, my first life update, I literally wrote down the damn anglerfish. Did you guys see all the videos of the anglerfish who swam to the surface of the ocean, which is not normal? Like, anglerfish are known for, which if you don't know what an anglerfish is, which I think that's the proper name for it, they're those little black fish that are in Finding Nemo that have the little light on their head, and they have those big sharp teeth, and they look a little funky. But in Nemo, you know what? Like growing up watching Nemo, I was like, "Oh, that's the scariest fish ever! Like I bet they're so big." This little fish that swam to the top of the ocean. They live on the bottom of the ocean, by the way. Like they live in the depths. They don't see the light. The only light they see is their own. Okay? This little fish, this little girl, was like the size of a human palm. And it's so crazy, like, she swam to the surface, and I'm not sure why. Still, I don't think I ever found out why she was at this, like, close to the surface of the ocean. But there obviously had to be something wrong, you know, for her to go up there, because that's just not normal. But there was all these TikTok videos, like people just like making like edits of her and like art. Like people were like drawing art of this fish, this anglerfish, going to see the ocean or going to see the sun for the first time and like how she finally saw a light that wasn't her own. And like I was sobbing over this anglerfish wanting to see the sun before she passed. And yeah, like can you just and like people were commenting like she's such a tiny fish and probably took all her strength. She's probably so tired swimming to the very top of the ocean. Anyways, that also was not good for my mental health because I was already not myself last week and so emotional. and just like on my period, feeling sick. It was honestly bad times, guys. That was really rough. I am feeling like myself this week. I feel so much better. I actually am like sort of feeling euphoric almost, like maybe I'm a little manic, but that's okay. Yeah. That anglerfish, man. I'm never gonna forget about her. Chiefs lost. I mean, I actually just don't even like, I'm sorry. If you're a Chiefs fan listening to this, I'm sorry, but I feel like they did need to be humbled a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, every once in a while, you just need to be humbled. Sometimes I need to be humbled, knocked down a peg or two. Um, the SNL 50 special was last night, and it was so fun to watch, just seeing all these cameos of people. Paul Rudd was there, Scarlett Johansson was there, past like SNL cast members were there. They showed like old skits. They showed old like just it was so good, and like there were so many people who performed. Lil Wayne performed. I just love. I was telling Kennedy, I feel like I have nobody to freak out with whenever just like a random actor or celebrity makes a cameo on SNL or like a show or something. When I see them, oh my gosh, I'm like making no sense today. Please, like, I really hope I'm making sense right now. You know, whenever you're watching something, say it's a TV show or a movie, and like your favorite celebrity pops up, or like this niche celebrity that only you have an obsession with, or like only you and one friend have an obsession with, they pop up and you freak out internally, and you're like, oh my gosh, and like no one else is freaking out with you, and you're like, why aren't you freaking out too? I feel like Kennedy is the only person who I can text and be like, holy shit, this person just showed up on this SNL skit. She's the only person I could text and she'd be like, oh my gosh, that is crazy. And like be equally as excited with me about it. There, I think that made sense. Which reminds me, I saw this TikTok the other day, and listen, you're probably gonna hear me say this and be like, duh, like, duh. But I saw this TikTok the other day that was like, kind of alluding to how Cowboy Carter won Album of the Year, right? And they're saying like, oh, like why did Cowboy Carter win Album of the Year? Like that's what you guys are saying, but you don't realize like, okay, let me rewind. Let me back it up actually. This guy also was like, people are saying, oh, Billie Eilish should have won. Like it's like her album was everywhere, or Brat should have won. Her album was everywhere. Was it everywhere, or was it just in your specifically curated bubble? You know, or was it just everywhere in your algorithm? Like, he was just explaining how we are so in our own bubble, and we have such, like, our algorithm is so niche to, like, what we interact with and what we listen to and what we watch and what, like, our opinions and how we see the world. Everything is so specifically designed for us. We are so in our own bubble that we can't even, it's unimaginable to think that Cowboy Carter would win Album of the Year because it wasn't your album of the year. But that's the thing, is like, it was possible and it does make sense. I don't know. You're probably thinking like, oh my gosh, like, and that's so obvious. Like, yes, we all have our own curated algorithm, but I don't know, sometimes I don't think outside of my own bubble. I think we're all guilty of that. And so it was really cool because even the other day I was talking to someone and they were like, "Oh, you don't know who this person is?" And I was like, "No, like I have no idea." They're like, "How? Like they're everywhere." And I'm like, "They're everywhere in your world, but not mine." And this same person that I was talking to, when we first met, they had no idea who Sabrina Carpenter was. And I'm thinking, how could you not know who Sabrina Carpenter is? Like, she was on Girl Meets World from Disney Channel. Maybe that person didn't grow up watching Disney Channel. They are the biggest pop star in the world right now. Okay, and then I had to step back and think, like, this person doesn't listen to pop music. Like, sometimes we just stay in our bubble, stay in our comfort zone. And I think that just, I wanted to bring that up because I talked about, last episode was Grammy recap, and, you know, I was guilty of thinking, why is Beyonce winning Album of the Year? Like, there's no way Cowboy Carter was all that. But then I had to take a step back and be like, that was a lot of people's Album of the Year. Okay? And I'm done. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Weekly report. We had so much new music come out this week, specifically on Valentine's Day. Role Model released Kansas Anymore Deluxe, which I think there were 5 new songs, and it was so bittersweet. If you know anything about Tucker, about Role Model, he dated Emma Chamberlain for a long time. They had a really cute relationship. People were like, oh, they're so perfect together. They broke up. She's dating someone new. She's actually dating another male singer. And his whole album was kind of like mourning her, but also like falling in love again, and but also like, I don't know if I'll ever love anyone else the same way I loved you. And the last deluxe song he released, I think it was called, I'm gonna have to look. The last song he released is called The Longest Goodbye, and it's so sad. I think the lyrics are like, I don't think I love you anymore, but I'll never actually know, or something like that. And it's just like, wow, he's finally saying goodbye to her. He's finally closing a chapter. Anyways, I love him. I'm so happy for him. Sabrina Carpenter released a deluxe edition of Short and Sweet. She did a Please, Please, Please with Dolly Parton, which was super cute and fun. Love Sabrina, you guys know that. Addison Rae released a new song called High Fashion. The production on it is incredible. If you don't really like pop music like hers or like Charlie XCX, like dance pop, you're probably not gonna like it, like I'm gonna be honest, but you can appreciate the production and everything that went into creating that song. Daniel Caesar and Rex Orange County, it's been like a minute since I've heard their names, but they just released 2 singles together. Haven't listened to those yet, but I'm curious because, again, haven't heard their names in a long time. Experiencing, obviously, I just experienced my depressive episode triggered by my period, but I'm also experiencing like high senses of like euphoria and happiness, which, again, I could just be manic right now, but I'm experiencing lots of happiness. And I think I've mentioned in my past couple episodes that I am like the most content I've been in a really long time. So, it is real, but you guys know me. And of course my nose is literally dripping right now because that always happens when I record. That literally always happens. Okay. But anyways, I'm kind of experiencing, you guys know I experience my highs and lows very deeply. Like if I'm going through it, I am rock bottom going through it. Don't want to go on going through it. But when I'm happy, I'm on top of the freaking world. Just climbed Mount Everest. Nothing in the world could stop me. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, which is a good thing. But these moods, they come and go. Speaking of euphoria, though, they finally, guys, they finally announced who's coming back. And I think everyone's coming back except for, I think her name is Barbie. I need to look at it so I can give you guys accurate information. HBO announced the returning main cast and new cast starring in season 3 of Euphoria. Zendaya's coming back, Hunter Schafer's coming back, Jacob Elordi, Sydney Sweeney, Alexa Demi, Maud, Chloe Cherry. Most people, Rosalia is going to be a new cast member, which I'm excited for. Rest in peace, Angus Cloud. Gia, Barbie, and Dominic Fike, they all will not be. Wait, this comment says, so Rue's entire family is just not in this season. What? Oh my gosh, that just made me realize. Yeah, Rue's sister and mom won't be in this season. That's actually weird and crazy, and I'm wondering how that's gonna work out. Okay, curious. Anyways, super excited though because Rue owes that bitch a whole bunch of money from last season. Like, she's in some deep shit, so I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Sorry for the cursing. I'm trying to also limit my cursing, okay? I'm trying to be the best version of myself. Playing and watching, I decided while I was sick and in my most depressive, like literally, guys, while all this was happening, period, sickness, depressive episode, I decided to watch We Live in Time with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, okay? And it follows this woman who she has stage 3 ovarian cancer. And when she first fell in love with Andrew Garfield's character and they first started dating, that's when they discovered the cancer, okay? And this movie has a lot of time jumps. So if you're not good with going from like before they were dating to when they were dating to when they were married to after she's gone to back again to before they met, like it's a lot of time jumping around. If that doesn't make sense to you, I wouldn't recommend this movie. Also, if you don't like sad movies, period, don't watch this. Don't watch this movie. Anyways, while they're dating, they discover her cancer, and then she's in remission, everything's happy again, and then the main premise of the movie is kind of she relapses, and she only has 6 months left to live. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to spend this time moping around. I want to have the best 6 months of my life. So it follows that. Horrible idea to watch it when I did. Why did I watch it when I was literally so depressed? I sobbed myself to sleep. Luckily the next day we had a snow day. So I woke up, got to recover all next day. But holy moly, guys, that's a sad movie. Obsessing. Honestly, literally, guys, I'm just obsessing over all the good things I've been doing for myself and my body and my mental health recently. Like I said, I feel really good right now. I'm very content. I've had a good start to the year so far, and I am feeling very happy. I'm seeing lots of things on my vision board kind of come to life, which is always fun and fulfilling to see like what I put down at the beginning of the year and seeing everything come alive. I booked my trip to Los Angeles, California to go see and visit my best friend Kennedy. I'm doing that at the end of March. Her birthday is March 31st. I'll be there on her birthday. I'm so excited. That is one thing I put on my vision board. I was like, I don't care how or when it's happening, I'm going to LA to see her. Like, I remember the last time I saw Kennedy was New Year's, and we woke up on January 1st and we just said to each other, see you in California. And it's happening. I haven't seen her since she was in Missouri. So I'm seeing her in LA and I'm so excited. And I wasn't sure if I was going to go or get to go because, you know, the devastating fires that happened and everything. We weren't sure if her apartment was even damaged or not. Luckily, all her things are okay. Her area was somewhat unharmed and she gave me the go ahead to come visit her. So I'm really excited for that. It's devastating what happened, and she was very blessed to not have any of her things damaged in the fires. But I just cannot wait to go see her. And I've never been to California. I've never been to Los Angeles. You guys know I've been in New York City. This is going to be a whole different vibe. I just know it, and I'm so excited. Did I already tell you guys this, that I booked? No, because it had to have been, I think I booked them like in the past couple weeks. So it had to have been after I recorded my last episode. Okay. Treating. I took myself shopping on Valentine's Day, okay? And you guys know I did go on a date. I think, yes, that I did update you guys. Told you I went on a date. It went really well. I really like this guy. I hope he's not listening. That might be kind of embarrassing. But really like him, but I feel like he worked on Valentine's Day, and I feel like we both were kind of like, we're still getting to know each other, so I feel like there would have been a lot of pressure if we did something on Valentine's Day. I don't know, that's besides the point. Took myself shopping on Valentine's Day, got some makeup products. Summer Fridays finally released their birthday cake scent of what is this called? The Lip Butter Balm. It's a limited edition shade or flavor or scent. I don't know. It's my favorite one though, and it only comes around every year on like their anniversary, whatever. So I got that, got a cute little pink cardigan, had Chick-fil-A for lunch, just like gave myself a day, you know, bought myself a coffee, dressed up, got all girly, took some photos, treated myself to a little me day on Valentine's Day. But yeah, that is let me just check and make sure my mic is still on. Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, thank you, Jesus. Genuinely, thank you, Jesus. I was so scared for a second. Okay, let's get into today's episode, becoming the best version of yourself. Guys, I have been making so many choices, good choices for myself that 1, 2, 3 years ago, I never would have imagined for myself, okay? Now, before we get into all my points, I want to talk about something that has been relevant in my life for a long time, and oh my gosh, I did not expect to talk about this today, because whenever you have an audience that thinks they know you and thinks they know all parts of you, it's kind of scary to open up about something so personal and like something that, it's hard to share parts of yourself that you're ashamed of or parts of yourself that you never thought you would let your audience see. But I want to talk about this, and what kind of made me just like decide to talk about this in the spur of the moment is I remember that Emma Chamberlain opened up about something similar on her podcast, and I don't know, that just made me feel brave. So, do I really want to say this actually? Yeah, I do, because this could help other people. Okay. Hi. Okay. I have been an avid nicotine user since I was 15 years old, which is crazy when you think about it because I'm 22 now. That's 7 years of constantly hitting a vape of some sort, okay? And I am going to be fully honest with you, I never thought I would be able to quit. I genuinely never thought I would finally throw it out, put it down, be done with it. But something like changed in me at the beginning of this year. And like, again, you guys know I've talked about this before, how I don't like really the concept of the new year, because I feel like you can stop doing something at any time or you can always begin again. But I kind of did have like the, what's the word? Cliche, like new year, new me thing happen this year. Like it just clicked. I think I finally was like, okay, I need to get my shit together. Like let's lock in. So, on January 1st, I got sick, okay? And I was sick like that first week, really sick that first week of the new year. And whenever I'm sick, I don't hit my vape because it just makes it worse. Um, so I had already not hit it for like 5, 6, 7 days. And at that point, I was like, I should just see how long I can keep this going. Which I had tried before. And normally it lasts like a week or two, and then I go right back into it. But this time around, I was like, I'm just gonna see how long I can do this. And 7 days turned into 8 days, turned into 2 weeks, turned into a month, relapsed, did another month, and I'm clean. I'm like, how clean am I right now? When was the last time I hit it? I think it's been like 6 weeks maybe since I've picked up a vaporizer. And I just like, I'm really proud of myself. It's severely improved my mood swings. It's severely improved my work ethic, my sleepiness, my energy levels, the way I run, which we'll get into later. I've been running again. It's improved just the way I interact with other people, the way I go about life. It's improved my skin, my health, everything. And I always knew that it would if I one day decided to be done with it. But I never thought I could part ways with that toxic addiction. Um, and I used to always think, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, I used to always think like, oh, nicotine isn't that severe of an addiction compared to like alcohol or hard drugs, cocaine, what you name it. But it is. Nicotine is one of the most highly addictive substances in the world. And I always just thought it was so normal, which it sucks because it is very normalized. You could go anywhere this day and age and someone's hitting their vape, just no shame. And it's really sad that it's so normalized, and I hate that I participated in it for so long. 7 years, like my poor lungs are like still probably so damaged. I can't even imagine what they look like. But I'm ready for my healing journey. I know that healing is not linear, and you know, I'm really trying to eliminate any situations where I would be tempted, which does include me going out so much. Again, you guys know I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I used to go out a lot. And one of my habits that I've created this year, which I'm really, really extremely proud of, is only drinking once a week, okay? I used to have a glass of wine every night before bed. I replaced that with decaffeinated tea, which has really helped because now that I'm not using nicotine, my sleep schedule is back to normal. I used to like drink a glass of wine to kind of help me go to bed. It would make me sleepy. I don't have to do that anymore um, because the nicotine, it's not keeping me up. And my life feels so much more freeing knowing that like and it's gonna make me cry because I'm so proud of myself, but I used to just sit there and hit it all day. Like I used to I couldn't wait till I got off work and could get in my car and hit my vape, you know? And wow, this is like really vulnerable of me because I'm thinking about my bosses listening to this. Hey guys. Um Even like after recording an episode, like I'd be like, oh, finally. Like it was like my breath of fresh air, and that is so disgusting and horrible, but it was it was my reality, and it felt like a prison. It really did feel like a prison. So I'm proud of myself. It also helps that a lot of my friends have quit too, so we're all kind of in this together, and I've noticed a significant change in how we all interact with each other too. Like, you know, it goes with any addiction that if you don't have it for a while, you get snappy with each other, you lash out, you get lazy, you get sporadic, and that's improved so much. It's improved my daily life so much to not have this thing that I'm thinking about constantly. It's literally, addiction is literally a leech. It's like, oh, it just sucks the life out of you. But I wanted to talk about that because that was a huge, huge step in me becoming the best version of myself, was finally letting that go. And I know, I'm not saying that like it's always going to be perfect and that I'm always going to be able to resist it. But I have significantly decreased, what's the word? I've eliminated a lot of the situations where I would be hitting it all the time, which is drinking all the time, going out all the time. Because when you are out at like these college bars, everyone around you has a vape or a cigarette or weed, whatever, which I don't have a problem with weed. I just personally don't do it because it makes me anxious AF. But I'm really proud of myself, and I wanted to say that out loud because I think it's important to share. I think, you never know who else could be struggling with something like that. No, you're not alone. Some of the most unexpected people deal with addiction, and yeah, because honestly, like when you look at my Instagram or when you look at my TikTok, you would never think, oh, that girl has an insane nicotine addiction. I did. I did, babes, and it was not fun. And I feel the most connected to myself right now than I have ever been. And it feels so freeing, and I'm happy for myself. And I'm going to stop talking about it now. Okay. Becoming the best version of yourself. First thing I wrote down. What are you meditating on? Now, this is what I wanted to talk about because I heard my sermon yesterday at North Point Church. I watched it online yesterday, and I'm really glad I did because I wasn't going to actually physically go to church yesterday because it was freezing cold. And I remember I was just going to sit in my bed and do like my own little Bible study devotional. And then I turned on YouTube to like turn on ambiance, and then it said North Point is live right now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot I can watch online. So I turned that on. And the message was like, what was it? It was like, what are your thoughts? Like, what are you thinking about? That was like kind of what he opened with. He was like, what are you thinking about today? What are you meditating on? What are you filling your mind with? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you making a habit of that is affecting or could be affecting your everyday life? And the speaker yesterday said something interesting. He was like, every input has an output. And he said, we often think that this doesn't apply to our minds and our mental well-being, but it 100% does. And I always grew up, my mom would tell me, the things you put in your head, the things you put in your mind, that'll affect you, that'll affect how you live. And I was like, no, that's not real. Like, that can't be real. It 1000% is. And I think what we are reading, what we are watching, what we're listening to, it has such a huge impact on our life. This kind of goes back to like our own little bubble thing, our algorithm. Like, what are we playing on a loop? What are we getting stuck in our algorithm? Whenever I'm doing scrolling and all I'm seeing on my For You page is things about our country that are just making me sadder and sadder and sadder, I am stuck. And the more I interact with that, the more it comes up. And then it's all that I'm thinking about is the despair I feel living in this country right now and how many horrible things are happening and all the things that are going on. And then I get stuck in that and what is the word? Ruminate on it? Is that even a word? I don't know. I just let it sit and fester in my thoughts in my mind. And wow, I'm a hand talker. If you guys are watching online, if you guys are watching on YouTube, like, I can't imagine. Do you get annoyed by me just like throwing my arms about all the time? Because I look like a crazy person right now. But anyways, when I let myself get stuck in the headspace and get stuck in just constantly thinking about things that make me sad or mad or angry. And obviously it's important to care about things. It's important to have empathy and to know what's going on in the world and know what's happening. But you can't let it consume your everyday life because then we forget that there are still joys and there's still light that can be found and small joys that can be found in the horrible things. So, what are you meditating on? For me, like I told you guys in the beginning of the year, one of my goals is to read a nonfiction book every month this year. I think I told you guys that. So last month I read The Half of It by Madison Beer, which was a beautiful memoir. This month I'm planning to read Sherry Frankie's I can't remember what it's called, but it's about her mother. If you guys ever watched Seven Passengers, or was it Eight Passengers? Can't remember. Ruby Frankie, unfortunately, very mentally abusive parent to these children, family vlogs on YouTube, whatever. You're probably thinking like, wow, like, and that's really what you're meditating on. No, but I'm trying to incorporate nonfiction into my life because I feel like it's important to read nonfiction. Anyways, what I'm watching, I've started to kind of morph my algorithm on TikTok into something more lighthearted and more happy and more a place of relief and rest and just funny, happy things. Funny, silly videos that I can share with my friends. Yeah, just what are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you letting consume your thoughts? What are you meditating on? Meditation, I think a lot of people just think like, oh, that's where you just like sit crisscross applesauce and feel the zen, and just close your eyes. But like meditation, whatever like media we are consuming, that's what we're meditating on. That's what we're thinking about constantly. So I think that's really important in becoming the best version of yourself. What are you meditating on? Because it does affect our minds and it does affect our reality. Number 2, curate your habits to what makes the most sense for you. what I mean by this, example being, I'm not a gym baddie. You know, like I've never been the type who is like, I gotta go to the gym every day. I want to get jacked. I want to lift weights every day. That's not me, but I do think that physical exercise is so important for our mental health. And I do think that getting that 30 minutes a day of exercise is so crucial to becoming the best versions of ourselves. But again, curate it to your needs and your what makes the most sense for you. For me, that's cardio. I've been running again. I've been trying to do 2 to 3 miles every day. If I miss a day, if I don't run, I try to walk 10,000 steps. I think that's like the amount that everyone does with their freaking Apple Watches. I don't have an Apple Watch still. So that I'm getting that, because exercise literally releases those endorphins. It makes you happier. It's literally proven fact. And sorry, I'm not a scientist. And I'm not a gym baddie. I'm not a personal trainer. It's just from my experience. Personally, like my mental health has been boosted by physical activity. And every time I do it, every time I bring it back into my life and start practicing exercise again, I instantly become happier in every aspect. I feel better, I sleep better, I perform better in everyday life. Whatever it may be, exercise is truly a huge part of our mental and physical well-being. Yeah, I don't know, like it could be cardio for you. It could be Pilates. It could be just taking really long walks every day. It could be hiking, tennis, pickleball. Like there's so many fun things that double as physical activity. And it makes us happy, you know? Like I was talking about the Sims like needs chart the other week. It feels like your health need, but it also fills your fun need. My favorite form of media that I make a habit out of is reading. Obviously, you guys know that. That's my favorite like medium of media is words, literature, reading. So I make it a habit to read at least 30 minutes every day before I go to bed. I've also made it a huge habit of, and I think I told you guys this before, but I don't check my phone for the first 30 minutes to an hour of the day unless I get a work text, obviously, which normally I'll have D&D on, do not disturb, but you can press like notify me anyway, or like notify the person anyway. Anyways, I'm rambling. I don't check my phone it's typically 30 minutes, but sometimes an hour before or in the beginning of the day. Reason being, when I was in high school, all my anxiety stemmed from like the morning time when I would get up and immediately check my phone and I would either see like, what are you wearing today? Or, oh, did you do this for that class? Or it's like literally high school drama that I'm having to deal with at 7 a.m. while trying to get ready for the day. I feel like that really triggered my anxiety. And so ever since then, I've kind of just like, I always wake up thinking the worst. Isn't that crazy how we don't wake up peacefully? Like we literally wake up and our minds immediately go to like something bad that could have happened. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I feel like whenever we wake up, our body immediately goes into fight or flight mode, and I'm trying to eliminate that. So, hour before bed at night, 9 p.m., I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Keep it that way until 30 minutes to an hour after I've woken up the next morning. It has improved my daily life so much. It does wonders for your mental health. Because, like, really, why do we need to be checking our phone as soon as we wake up? Instead, I get up, I turn off my alarm, keep my phone off, brush my teeth, take my time doing my skincare, do my hair, figure out what I want to wear today without the influence of other people. You know, it's relaxing. Try it. Healthy habits can still include putting on your favorite show at the end of the evening. For me, my evenings are so important. You guys know this. I make a huge deal out of my evening routine. Reason being because I'm working all day. I'm watching kids all day from sun up to sundown, genuinely. In the winter, at least, sun up, sundown, for real. So when I get home, the most important part for me is to unwind and turning on your favorite show while coloring. That's something I've been loving to do. Reading 30 minutes before bed, doing something creative, which is another thing I want to do a little check-in. One of my New Year's little resolution goal things was to do something creative every day. I honestly have really succeeded at that, whether it's coloring, drawing, painting, doing something for the podcast, creating like a Canva graphic. I count all of those things as creative, whether it's doing a craft with my kids while I'm at work. Just anything that brings you that joy. I've been doing something artsy every day, and it has increased my mood so much that it's become a habit. Like, I have never been good at keeping habits. I'm always the one, I'm low-key a quitter, you guys. Like, when I was younger, I would join all these sports and try them out, and then I would quit. I was really bad at making things a habit. Except one thing I did have a habit of was nicotine, hitting that damn vape. That was a habit that I had to break. But like healthy habits, that's what we're talking about today. And I've never been good at keeping habits, but this year, like, something in me has changed, and I have created the habit of reading before bed, tidying up my room before bed every night so that I can have a clean space, because that's really important for me too, having a happy, healthy environment. Running almost every day, that has become a habit already. Like, it's just, you literally just have to start somewhere. What are you feeding your body? Balance is key. Like I mentioned earlier, I've personally cut out alcohol almost entirely, replacing the glass of wine every night for hot tea or lemon water. Love lemon water. When I do drink on the weekends, which is what I was getting to, when I do drink that one night out of the week, I've been limiting it to 2 to 3 drinks. Super Bowl, I had 3 beers. Got some drinks with my girls on Saturday night. I had 2 martinis. Like, just limiting it, because I know my body and I know how I would want to feel the next day. And if I limit it at that, I'll feel completely normal the next day. And I'll still be able to perform. Like, if I want to, if I have chores I need to do, or if I am wanting to run that day, like, I know I'll be able to see that through. But for me, the healthiest version of myself, is conscious of what I put in my body without reason. Or with reason, sorry, within reason. So the healthiest version of myself is not beating myself up if I want to have a sweet treat or if I want to have like 2 sugary coffees in one day. You know what I mean? But recognizing like that balance is key and that your life can look healthy while still eating the things you love, partying every once in a while, having a good time. Like, it's literally balance is key. Anyways, yeah, I'm more conscious now as like the healthiest version of myself, the most ideal healthiest version of myself is more conscious of how that food or how those drinks make me feel at the end of the day or at the end of the week. How does it make me feel? Because the unhealthy version of me from 2-3 years ago, she wouldn't have cared how it made me feel the next day. She would have just done it because it felt good in the moment. Number 4. Now, this one is personal preference, but for me personally, I've noticed over the years of my life that the most healthiest, happiest keyword here, the happiest version of myself in all of my 22 years has been the version of myself where I am most aligned with Christ. And I'm planning on doing an episode this year of my full testimony, my Christianity, my views on Christianity, my relationship with Jesus, because that's always been kind of personal with me, like that's like a me and God thing, but I do think it's important to share testimonies and be open about how that life has changed my life, because you never know, it could influence somebody else to want that. But again, for me personally, the happiest moments in my life, when I look back at the seasons of life that I've been through, the ups and downs, my highest points have always been when I've had something to believe in. And that's how I feel about religion, all religions. If it helps you live your best life, if it helps you be a better person, if it helps you treat others better, if it helps you perform better, if it helps you just like to believe in something, do it. I will never knock somebody for any religion as long as we're not hurting anybody, you know, as long as we're not hurting anybody, as long as we're not judging one another. Like, if your religion is making you a better person and live a better life, dude, freaking do it, you know? Like, and that's how I feel about Christ, and that's how I feel about Christianity. And I do, you know, I think my relationship with God and I, with Jesus and I, that's personal to me and him. It's between me and him. But I do think it's important to share my experience with that and with Christianity. So let me know if you guys would be interested in a whole episode about my testimony and my relationship with God and how it's changed and fluctuated so much in the past years. Because if you would have told me like a year ago that I was a believer again, which I would never say that I was ever an atheist, or I would never call myself an atheist or say that I was never a non-believer. But there were definitely moments in my life where I just didn't really believe anymore, or I didn't really know what to believe. And I was questioning a lot, which questioning is good. Doubt is good. You're supposed to have doubts and question everything and be uncertain. You're supposed to do that at times. But if you told me a year ago, even 6 months ago, that this would be my life right now and that I was putting my full trust and everything in Jesus Christ, I wouldn't have believed you. And that just goes to show the headspace I was in 6 months to a year ago to 2 years ago. But we'll get into that. I would love to do an episode about that if you guys are interested. If you are spiritual, if you believe in a higher being or someone who created us or any of that, and it makes you live a better life, do it. I will always encourage that. Yeah, that is like pretty much all that I wrote down, but I do want to just like talk a little bit more about some tips and tricks for becoming the best version of yourself. I talk about this a lot. I really think it's important to have a passion or a hobby that is not a part of your work life. I think it's important for, like, for example, my best friend Kennedy, music is like her passion, but it's also her job. And she was just telling me on the phone the other day, like, man, sometimes I wish that music was just a hobby. I wish that it was just my passion sometimes and that she didn't have to rely on it for income. And I think it's important to have a hobby, like crafting is what I do, reading is what I do, where that doesn't give me any income. It truly just brings me happiness. Even playing my guitar. I play guitar. Like, I like to sing a little bit, but I don't actively pursue it. It's just like a fun little escape for me. And I think that is the most important thing. One of the most important things for living your best life, being your most authentic self, is having those hobbies and those little passions that you're not expecting anything out of. You guys know how I feel about having a passion. I think having a passion in life is one of the most important things. And just getting creative, experiencing new little outlets of life, and discovering new passions and hobbies is a simple joy that I think we should all cherish and experience. But yeah, I'm honestly kind of drawing a blank on anything else right now. I think that, you know, if you want a life for yourself that you're not living right now, you just have to go out there and get it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. You are the only person who is in control of your destiny, of your life, of your future. You are the only person who can decide for yourself that you want to take control of your life again. And I think that's kind of what I've done this year. And I just feel like I've made so much progress already in 2 months. I am a completely different person than I was in December already. Like, I'm a completely different person. And I think if you would ask the people in my life right now about me and how I'm doing, I think they would tell you, I hope they would tell you that they think I'm doing really good. Because I am. And I'm hoping that it shows. I think it already shows in how I'm treating people, how I'm talking to people, how I'm encouraging people, how I am presenting myself. I told you guys in the beginning of the year, I felt like something really good was going to happen this year, and I just already feel everything falling into place. And yeah, I do feel like speaking things into existence is a huge thing. Just asking big, asking the universe or God or whoever you believe in. Ask big. Don't think small. Like think big, because if you just do that, if you just ask for anything you've imagined for, if you just dream big, like it will fall into place. And I'm mostly kind of speaking to my old self right now, because I never believed any of this. I never believed I could be this happy and this content and this secure in myself, this independent. I never thought that I could live this way. And here we are. But I hope this episode encouraged some of you guys today. My DMs are always open, by the way, if you ever want to talk, if you're struggling with something, I'm always here. Again, I feel like my purpose on this earth is to just give out love and encourage. I feel like that is a huge purpose of mine. And even though I don't exactly know where I'm going yet or how I'm going to get there, I am trusting God on this one, you guys. I am feeling really good. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Follow me on Instagram at lakynolmsted and at lovelettersfromlakyn. Merch is still available on my website. Go check it out. Stay warm, you guys. I love you. This has been a Love Letter from Lakyn. Bye.